All right. All right. Welcome back, everybody.
Boom.
Woo! We are here
We are here.
Look
once
at
again.
the increase of
Quality.
beautiful things.
Pugs, space spaghettis, and posters. I hope I gestured to Winnie in that. He's kind of off to my right, but you know, it is what it is. It is who we are. And it is how we are. So,
Today,
we are going to be talking about the new Clone Wars spin-off show, Mr. Bad Batch.
Mr. Bad Batch.
A Bad Batch of Cake.
What the?
Speaking of cake, what do you guys like?
Where are you headed with this cake reference? Right out the gate with the cake.
Right out the cake. I don't think there's been a
Unexpected.
cake in the show, a space cake, if there were.
There
such a
should be.
thing. There should be. I don't know if
Would it be
cakes
alive?
cook this. I don't know if cakes bake in the space. It's hard to say.
they would
We'll have to
freeze.
test-
I hate to break it to you.
Astronaut
Well,
cake.
Cakes would
if
freeze in
it's
space.
if it's in an oven, I have a hard time believing that it'd freeze. So what we need is we need a space oven, which I guess would just be a sun, but that's just. I'm no astrophysicist. if I'm
All
being
right,
honest.
I'm just gonna
Let's rope this
bring
up.
it on back. Somehow that happened. So
Fantastic.
the first 3 episodes of Bad Batch have now come out. And
have.
I think we should just go through on a per episode basis, kind of run through what went down, feelings, and then once we reach the 3rd one, we'll talk about maybe a bit of theory. You know, where's the show going?
Speculation.
Where's it
I don't
heading?
want to just throw my thoughts out there, but
All right,
episode 1.
number 1.
What do we guys think? What do we think of it? What do we do with the piece of media we consumed?
I think it was a good start. I went into this not really expecting a whole lot because I wasn't a huge fan of the Clone Wars Bad Batch. I thought they were kind of more
Oh.
filler episodes, in my opinion. But
You're talking about Clone Wars in general. I was about to smack you.
no, not Clone Wars in general, just the Bad Batch episodes. But
Yeah, I feel
on
that.
the re-release of this own spin-off show, I liked them. I like this how they started. We're slowly getting to learn more about each character, and some
Mhm.
started off as I don't quite like them, but they are slowly, episode by episode, growing on me.
Who didn't you like off the start?
Uh,
I'm burping
well-
right now.
there's 2. There's Wrecker. I just didn't like his dialogue. I thought he was kind of a lame.
Too intelligent. The dialogue
Unintelligent.
couldn't be
That being
understood.
that being
You heard
said,
it here. Jarod hates dumb people.
That being said, his character has grown on me the most because he started at the lowest, but he's grown on me as the 3 episodes have gone on. The other one being Echo. He's just seems like a
My boy.
part of the cast that is never really needed.
Yeah.
He's kind
gotta-
of just there right now, and I would love to see him come into more of a specialized character like everybody else in the group. But as of right now, I don't see a purpose in him. But we can talk more about that. What are you guys
Like,
thinking?
Dude, I thought
Yeah.
I thought Echo's existence in the show so far has been so the Bad Batch wouldn't have to have a droid. Like straight up. He's just like a guy that has the droid part, and
Yeah,
that's
the
they're like,
master
"Well."
key.
Yeah, exactly.
The
I'm
droid
interested-
master key.
I don't know how he differs from Tech, because like Tech already seemed like he was good with all the mechanics and stuff. And then Echo came along. He's like, "I've got this screwdriver hand. What can we do with that?"
Yes.
They're like, "You want to come? I mean, can you carry a gun with the other hand?" And he's
You're
like,
pretty
"I can come."
freaky. You don't look like a normal clone,
Yeah.
so I guess you can join the weird bunch of looking clones that we are.
We'll
It'd
accept
be
you.
cool if he could like sub out his hand and like put like a gun on it too. So
Oh,
I don't know.
A hook.
That's not really
Yeah.
that's not really like a role in the group. Just be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I am gun hand."
Aye, that would give him more props in my book.
All right, fair enough. I feel like he's missing hair. That's my problem with him.
Yeah.
Echo as a character, I don't like him because he doesn't have hair. He just has little dots around his head.
We're going back to baldism.
This is
here.
the second episode where
We've
there
talked
has
about
been
bald people.
prejudice against hairless. I think this is a bad precedent to set, and I think because of that, I might shave my head just in, to stand.
Contrast of it all.
Next
Yeah,
episode,
I
we're all gonna have a shaved head.
Oh wait, no, we shouldn't.
Focus on that. It's gonna happen.
All right. Yeah. Make sure you place your bets.
As far as just like as far as the first episode in general goes, though, I thought it was an excellent episode, setting the tone for where the show was going to take it.
Yep.
I personally, dude, right out the gate with having the Clone Wars in red and then burning it into the Bad Batch, that was sick.
Yeah, that was
because I was
a
also
cool
like,
opening.
I'm sure that they had talked about it already, but I wasn't 100% sure where it was going to pick up, like what the time was going to be. So having it go just like that, it was like, oh, all right, I know what's happening now. So I thought that was sick. The episode as a whole, it was definitely just like further exposition on the characters.
And how the transition from Clone Wars to the Galactic Civil War, which I don't need, it kind of still seems like it's at the beginning of right now, not really like full scale original Star Wars like we saw. So I wonder if we're going to see the introduction of like the rebellion, like the base kind of layer of people starting to stand up and become the rebellion.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did have any part of any show that shows a different perspective of Order 66. I just always find myself like, ooh,
Yeah.
just giggling a little bit because I love that idea, and then I love that moment because it's such a huge moment. And so just getting to see it in another perspective, I was like, let's go. I love
the
it.
moment Palpatine's face went up there.
Yes.
Ooh,
First Galactic Empire. Yeah.
The attempt
cool.
on my life has left me scarred and deformed.
I also like seeing the tension between the group. I mean, really, it's only between Crosshair and the rest of the group because, like Jarod had said, was already like an edgy character, but after he got his whole like chip malfunction, it's like the argument's really interesting. Was like, well, was he already kind of strict and like he said, good soldiers must follow orders, or is that mainly his chip coming in? I like that question. I kind of hope it gets drawn out a little bit more and we get more depth to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do we think of little New Zealand girl,
There we go.
Omega?
There we go.
Omega.
Omega.
I
what
think
do we,
she's
what do we
great.
think of her?
She's
I like her.
an excellent character. I appreciate her accent. It is extremely representative of those from New Zealand. No, I think I mean, out the gate, it's like, who is this person? Why do I care about her? I kind of think she could be cool if they do cool things with her. At this point in the show, I mean, 3 episodes in, I mean, I don't know. First episode, it was like, I don't understand why even
she's her own thing.
Why does she care about the Bad Bunch?
Yeah.
Why is
she's different
the way she is? Yeah, she's different from the get-go.
And so is the Bad Batch compared to the rest of the, or as they like to call them, regs. So I think that's probably why she has like some sort of like drawing towards them. That'd be my best guess, my personal opinion.
Before we go on to just talking about episode 2 as a whole, Jarod, I remember you said something a little interesting. You had a potential theory, I believe, in regards to Omega.
I do.
Omega.
After watching the episodes through the second time, I have deduced that I think Omega at least is Force sensitive. She is the first clone that has come up with any sort of Force abilities, which makes her extremely unique. I think the fact that she doesn't become a full-grown person immediately, maybe, I don't know if this has anything to do with the Star Wars universe, but I don't know if you have to like, it seems maybe Force sensitive people start showing when they're like younger, and maybe the fact that clones are kind of weird in the youth because they don't have a youth, right?
It's like accelerated aging. I don't know if she has the training. Like that's the thing. Like usually the clones or like the cadets, whatever, go through like a whole process. It seems like she's been pretty sheltered so far.
She demonstrated some amount of weapons capabilities.
Yeah, she instantly
She
could.
held the gun.
She hit somebody with a gun, like from across like a room.
Oh yeah. She did. She did.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And they're having that little shootout when Crosshair's like, I'm evil now.
Yeah. She has
Sorry,
shown
guys.
a lot of competence. She's not useless. Every time she's like, I think I should help, she comes in there and she actually helps. She actually does useful things. She's not always holding them back.
Yeah.
Which I enjoy. I always hate when they bring along that like one kid character that just ends up screwing up everything constantly. She's not doing
like,
that.
Why
I
the
enjoy
hell did
that.
we bring you?
a competent, curious, very intelligent seeming kid, which
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of role, like we're trying to figure out about Echo, what kind of role she's going to like fulfill in the group. So if she is that force sensitive, that could be like her whole shtick, or maybe she's like kind of mix of all. Because I think in episode 3, when like Hunter was doing the classic, let me pick up some dirt. Yeah, they went this way. Like she was like, oh, let me give that a shot. And it was like, yeah, they went this way. So maybe she can just like, maybe she could be force sensitive, or she could be like a mix of all of them, which I don't know. It was definitely interesting. She was able to pick it up pretty quick, so maybe she's adaptable.
Yeah. I think,
but yeah.
Well, you go on, Winnie?
If we talk through, I think, episode 2 and 3, we can also kind of pick out some moments where that theory might actually be demonstrated, I think. Based on what you were saying, Jarod, I think there's some definite scenes where we've already seen, like, this is kind of becoming more clear, I think, as the episodes go by.
Yeah, when I was, like, rewatching them, I thought early on, I was like, oh, you know what? She might be, like, force sensitive upon watching it through the second time. And then I started picking up on a couple different things that was like, oh my gosh, hold on, I might actually be thinking in the right boat here. She notices things before any of the group notices, and not through sight, through intuition, a gut feeling, some sort of thing that just like lets her know, oh, I'm getting some bad vibes right now. I feel like something's happening. Like when
Bad Batch, bad vibes.
When what's his name, Crosshair,
Sharpshooter.
No, his name's Crosshair.
Sharp shot.
You're right, Jarod.
Crosshair. I'm messing with you. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm terrible with names, so you call me out like that, I got to second guess myself. Yeah, but Crosshair, screw you, Cole, is when he comes in to attack the Bad Bunch with the other clones.
It's the Bad Batch, Jarod.
The Bad Bunch. They're a bunch of baddies.
I like Bad Bunch.
Look,
it's the Bad Bunch coming on.
It's like
angry bunch.
It's the two B's, because I'm thinking like Brady Bunch, Bad Bunch.
We should just call them the Brady Bunch from now on.
Batch.
The Brady Bunch.
Bad Batch.
Bad
yes,
batch.
You're right.
Bad bitch.
When Crosshair comes in to attack them with the other clones, Omega, before the door even opens up, is like, oh, I don't think we're gonna have to look for him. I think he's already arrived. And then the door.
Right.
So
how did you know that, Omega?
It's either bad writing or she's force sensitive. So I guess in Star Wars they can just retcon it. Whenever somebody just has bad writing, they're like, he was force sensitive. Forget about it.
Huge brain.
But aren't force sensitive? Nah, I don't want to go on to the third episode too quickly, but aren't force sensitive people good with like animals?
Yeah,
they can be.
They can,
and they can
often communicate with them, right?
Yeah,
just something like that, because they're more in tune with like the life, which like force flows through all life. So
yeah,
makes sense. But kind of piggybacking off what Jarod said, we don't move on to episode 3 too quickly. I thought episode 2 was kind of like fun, but I like it. It didn't really touch on like Crosshair or like the transition from Clone Wars to like the Galactic Empire, which I personally have. That's my favorite part of the show right now. So that's why episode 2, like, it was fun, but it felt like kind of like mid-tier Clone Wars for me, where you're just like, this is just an adventure or whatever. It was nice seeing that one clone though from the Clone Wars. I'm pretty sure he was in the Clone Wars, like a deserter or whatever. Yeah, I like that. But yeah, I'm not sure if you guys had any thoughts on episode 2 as well.
Yeah, I thought around the same thing. It was kind of your atypical, like, let's go talk to this guy we know, see what's going on with him. It didn't really accomplish anything that episode. I think it was just more for story building, kind of getting to know the characters a little bit.
Yeah.
We did get to see that one I don't want to call him a defective clone, but I guess that's what he
Defector.
is. Defector clone.
I am Defector.
But I think they were just trying to like show that they need to treat Omega a little differently because she is a child.
Definitely not used to. I feel like if the Navy SEALs picked up a little kid.
Yeah, they made that pretty aware right away that they are not good with children and have no idea what they're doing. So I thought that was cool. There's a little learning curve for them.
Yeah, it definitely felt like episode 2 was kind of that's kind of almost why that episode existed, was you teach the clones, like, look, you gotta figure out how to be a father at the same time as doing this bad batch stuff if she's gonna hang around with you. But it also kind of cemented that, like, she is one of them. She wants to stay with them. She has no interest in leaving, even if there's weird monsters that are 3 feet outside of the house's gate. Because that's safe. What I do when I have like a massive predator around my house is I just put up a fence. And then I just say, don't go outside that fence. You don't. No.
Hey, monster, you better not cross this line, otherwise you cross the line.
Yeah, I thought it was a little harsh that the main guy, Hunter, was like, Hunter, what were you doing out there? Come on, there's a fence. And he's like, the ball went like 6 feet past. Come on, I thought I'd be chill.
Yeah,
I didn't go into the woods.
Stick.
Yeah.
I wonder if the monster's just like always around the fence, like he doesn't leave. Like, and he's like, oh shit, they stepped outside the line. Go. Yeah, he knows his place. But yeah, no, episode 2 definitely seemed like the most important part of it was to set up the fact that, like, clearly an arc that is going to be like them getting used to having this kid with them when really they only had to rely on each other, who are all trained in exceptional but different ways. So definitely going to have to adapt to having a little kid in the group.
Yeah. The one guy, Echo, is pretty much a child though, because he can't do anything.
No, Wrecker.
No. Wrecker is the intelligence of a child. Echo is as useful as a child.
He has a screwdriver for a hand.
Hey,
what child
stop
do you know
making fun of the cyborg. Cyborg rights.
He's
Come
robotically impaired. You can't. That's rude.
I'm fighting now for bald rights and cyborg rights. I would fight for anything else. Give me the list.
I don't know if you guys.
The top 2 focuses right now.
I don't know if you guys noticed, or if this is just gonna be like a super nerd deep cut reference, but his little headband that he has, it looks like the guy from Empire Strikes Back, little Lando's friend or whatever. He's got the same kind of, it's like earmuffs almost.
Lobot.
Lobot, yeah, that guy. I don't know if that's supposed to just be a little nod, or if like that technology is made with him, but yeah, it was cool. I was like,
hey, you got the consistency. I like it.
It's got the Neuralink on.
So yeah, episode 2 was all right, but episode 3, that's where I really started vibing with the show. They had that whole little like monster quest going on, which was cool. I liked it a little bit more than when they were just chilling at that farm. But that whole bringing Crosshair back into it and seeing more about how that one General Rampart, Admiral Rampart, whatever his name is, how he was like, I think that we should try to transition from clones to just regular soldiers. I really like that. And seeing how like the Kaminoans, however you say their names, they were like, we're going to lose a lot of business if this happens. Our profits are going to go way down. So yeah, I really like seeing that and seeing how like they were treating like the clones as like a relic from the past. I like that a lot, even though it happened literally like only a month ago. They were like the supreme army. And then what's it called? Crosshair does this whole execution scene where he was like, "You want to know why I'm in charge?" I'm like, I don't know if you can come back from that. That seems pretty irredeemable. You're just executing a squad of unarmed people, but
Yeah.
I
it's the
thought
Empire rules, I guess.
I thought the pacing there at times in episode 3 was a little interesting because it was like slaughter of innocents, and then it was like there's a monster that's stealing our ship's part, and then it was like I'm gonna kill my own brother because he didn't follow orders, and then it was like uh-oh, the monster ate a flashlight.
Yes.
I also I felt it was funny how like Hunter was like this trained Rambo kind of guy, and he just got instantly wiped by the monster.
Yeah.
And then Omega's like, well, I'm clearly less experienced and less equipped, so I'm gonna give it a go. She's like, you want this flashlight?
She had the flashlight.
He had the flashlight too. He just didn't think about it. Maybe if they had a flashlight, things would have turned out a little differently.
That's what I'm saying. The fact that she's so good with animals, you know,
Definitely. That was
Mhm.
a good.
or sensitive.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
definitely one of the indicators, one of the scenes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it was, and she's, I mean, in Hunter's defense, he got his like air breathing mask knocked off, and that seems to KO anybody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. He
Reasonable.
was out for a little bit, and he was just like screaming out to her like, Omega, there's a lot of holes here.
I was most
He ate
frustrated
one.
that Tech didn't put the freaking safety cap back on the piece that they just put in their freaking ship.
I
It's
know.
like, we got one more of these things. We can't lose this one. All right, what's that noise? Let me walk away from this exposed one piece that we only had that we need to get off this planet. I'm like, no, secure that, then go check it out. Why are you causing extra steps? Come on, Tech.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like a smart move for the tech guy.
Yeah.
He's better with
Freaking-
IT sort of things.
Yeah,
less
he's not a
annex.
common sense guy. He's a brainiac. Yeah.
Mhm.
That whole scene was super reminiscent of is it Empire where they land on the asteroid?
Yeah, where they find out that it's like a giant space worm.
Yeah, and they have that little thing that like attacks them. I was
Yeah.
initially like, "Oh no, what's about to happen now?" But it was just Electro
Which one?
Lizard.
I would have personally Electro Lizard. I would have personally been like, okay, well, it's not really there. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff on this planet that could kill us. So how about we focus on getting off of it instead of shining and try to figure out what it is?
Yeah, they walk away
But
from the ship.
ship.
They're like, "Something's definitely here, cutting up the ship. Let's
Like,
go
look,
find it."
We put a scratch on our thing, and he's like, they're causing damage to our ship. And I'm like, well, if you didn't leave that spot, he wouldn't have caused any damage other than a few little nicks. So, but it would have been interesting to see if he could like suck the energy out of the entire ship. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah.
well, now we don't have a working ship.
I
But
did
yeah,
like
from,
the redeeming quality of Wrecker at the end of the episode, making the bed for Omega. I thought that was a nice little sentiment.
nice little sweet moment, like she's fully a part of it.
Yeah, that was nice. I enjoyed that. She also did the full mission for everyone on the team that day.
She
That's
did.
facts.
So she at
Proving her
least
worth.
deserves a bed.
Yeah. I also in that moment, on a more technical basis, was like, wow, it's really jarring to see where the Clone Wars started as like animation wise and where it is now. Like I was like, this is
Yeah.
pretty beautiful.
That's awesome.
Like it looks incredible. Clone Wars has never looked better.
Facts.
Or I
I was,
guess
think-
Bad
I
Batch
was
has never
thinking the
looked better.
same thing. Like each individual character model was just like, it seemed like a lot more clean than
Yeah.
the old ones, and it was all very like fluid motion, and it wasn't as janky as it's been in
Mhm.
the past. But yeah, I agree. It looked really good.
It's hyper stylized, but it also seems real. It's
Yeah.
it's
It
a
still
cool
feels
balance
like
they
Clone
struck.
Wars, but it's just better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in the first episode when they're running after the whatever Caleb, whatever, the young Jedi. That was the first scene where I was like, whoa, this looks significantly better. There's this shot, I think, where Crosshair's running down and then Hunter's like in front of him, and there's a like tree with a branch that's covered in snow in the front, in the foreground, and the particle effects and just like general the tree looked incredible, and I was like, I didn't think it was going to be a tree with like a little bit of snow drifting off. That would
That's a
make
good
me
tree.
realize
This
how
is what I
awesome this
watch
is.
Star Wars for, the excellent tree.
Yes, yes, I'm here for the trees.
Quality of the tree.
For sure.
I am the Lorax of Star Wars.
Did anybody else think that Caleb Jedi kid, that he sounded a lot like young Anakin? Or is that just me?
His voice.
He was
yeah,
annoying
was
like
similar.
young Anakin.
His voice
That's
also
for
did
sure.
not fit his body at all. I think we can
That's
all
what I
agree
was
on
saying. He
that.
sounds way too old for that body.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure, correct me in the comments for all those who aren't watching. Correct me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure that's the Jedi from Star Wars Rebels.
See?
Who is who's voiced by Freddie Prinze Jr., who played Freddy in the Scooby-Doo live action movies. So I think what they did was they took his voice and just like made it higher pitched, which is probably why it sounded a little like janky. You're like, you kind of sound like a grown man, but you also sound like a 3-year-old boy. It's
That's a lot of work. Why not just hire like a girl?
Kid. It's
or
a guy.
Kid?
Yeah.
I know, but usually women voice guy children. Like Timmy
does
Turner
happen.
Timmy
that
Turner
okay?
is a Timmy Turner is a boy or a girl.
Bart
Sorry.
Simpson.
Bart,
Bart
yep.
Simpson
Yep.
too.
Bart. Yeah. Yeah. That happens a lot.
That means all of them. We came up with 2 examples. That's
all
clearly
of 'em.
representative.
Yeah. There's two,
So
those are the
much.
only two
There's no
characters.
other. But yeah, no, I'm really liking where Bad Batch is going. I think definitely the whole Crosshair and like the more technical part of like the transition between the Clone Wars and Empire is my favorite part
For
right
sure.
now.
So do we
Awesome.
think that Crosshair is eventually like maybe wrapping up season 1, he rejoins the group, or are we thinking to kind of like shake things up, he's gonna be like a villain for a little bit with like maybe a redemption arc sort
So,
of thing?
I think they're definitely already starting to paint the potential for a redemption arc. In episode 3, I don't know if you guys caught, he comes back to the barracks, and it's the first time that he's come back to the barracks without his homies, and he's just with like his new friends.
His new
quote
homies.
unquote. Yeah,
Friends.
not real homies. Don't shoot the homies.
They're a little intimidated by him.
But yeah, that whole scene, he comes in there, and the scene is paced really slow, and the music comes in, and it's basically just Crosshair on it and his thoughts. There's no vocalization at all throughout the scene. So that was like, I think they're definitely trying to at least paint that as a potential option. Whether or not that'll happen, I do think at least for this season or for the majority of it, I would expect to see Crosshair kind of maintain that villain status. But
he was like looking at the little tally marks and everything, and you can even kind of like feel it when he sat down on the barracks, like he was like looking at everybody else do it, and it almost, I don't want to speak for Crosshair, he's not here right now, but
he is.
Oh shit!
He's
I'm sorry,
over-
Crosshair, if you mind stepping up.
He's just
But
off
no.
screen.
Crosshair, correct me if I'm wrong, but it almost seemed like he was reminiscing on like, man, I wish I had an actual capable group that liked what I did.
Yeah.
I need guys that are down with executions.
It seems like he would be, as of right now. Now I know the chip affects him, and then they increased the strength of said chip. But right now, he seems like he would be your atypical, really good bounty hunter for the Sith.
I was getting like Winter Soldier vibes. Like,
like he follows order. He's not afraid to kill people for any reason other than the fact that he was told to do so.
mhm.
He's,
And his armor looks badass.
Yeah, he's got
He
some
in Star
real
Wars.
bounty hunter vibes going for him right now.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna need a serious redemption arc just because he was already a dick beforehand.
Yeah. Do you think he's gonna come back nicer to the group, or he's gonna go right back in? They're gonna be like, "Oh my god, I forgot how edgy you were."
Shoot.
Like, you know what? Go back to the Empire. We did fine without you. We got a guy with a screwdriver for a hand, and he's better.
Yeah, I could see him coming back in the group and then being like, can we please not bring around this little child? Like, she's useless. We're all
Yes.
like the top of our game, the best clones that were ever made. And now we've got this little kid following us around. Like, can we not? And then everybody else is going to be like, no, she's proved herself.
You haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it.
She got the part for the ship. She
threw the flashlight.
She threw the light. She threw the flashlight. I thought going back to the first episode again, I believe there was that scene with Crosshair and Omega, and that was another moment of Force sensitivity where she's looking at him and then she's like, I know what you're gonna have to do.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, I know what you're talking about. And she's like,
yeah.
Don't. Did she say don't do it, or like don't feel bad about it?
She said that she was like, I know what you're about to do, but it's not your fault.
Yeah.
Because she, once again, just has this intuition that something bad is going to happen to him. She's Force sensitive.
I feel like she is at this point.
I don't even think it's something that on the second watch through, it went from I didn't even think about it to how did I miss this? Like the more things, every scene where I also noticed, this is just something weird that I noticed, but she already looks at Hunter like that is her dad. Like 100%. She
technically they're siblings.
Yeah, they got the same DNA, bruh.
Same DNA,
but she literally in multiple scenes will look up at Hunter, and copy exactly what he's doing. And she does that multiple points through the show where she is just mimicking them to a T as best as possible. And I don't know if that's because she's a clone and she's like learning in this way, or if it's just because she's never had friends. She's never had somebody to look up to like that. And so she's just intensely trying to follow in their footsteps. I think it could be a little bit of both, but yeah, she definitely lives for them right now.
Yeah, she's loving it. Speaking more on Omega's specialties, when they were talking, I think it was the end of episode 3, how the long neck dinosaur guys, the Kaminoans, how they were talking about how they were like, well, that
reptile like
Brachiosaurus, what albino reptiles? They were talking about how they were possibly going to make like the clones even more advanced, like more specialized. And so at first they had like the DNA for Jango Fett, which made the clones, and they said they were going to take the DNA from something else. And I feel like they were implying crosshairs, but I also kind of feel like maybe something special about Omega, and they're going to try to make more clones that are kind of like Omega. So
I could see that.
I feel like either of them are a candidate for the clone that they're trying to like make more of. And
what if they already knew what if they specifically chose somebody Force sensitive to take the DNA from to try to replicate people that have those abilities?
Yeah.
Because that would be huge. That would be massive.
An army of Force sensitive clones.
Also a really cool idea for a show.
Yeah.
In case Disney's listening, is our pitch.
I think they pitched it, and I think it's called Bad Batch.
Disney, we know that you don't have any shows going on right now. You need. There's basically
really
nothing coming out. I mean, you got no new ideas. Here you go.
None.
This is on the house.
This is on the house. Yeah.
Please sponsor
we'll
us.
take like
or
$50 million. Like
help
that's
us
all we're
get in
asking
contact with Mr. Khan somehow.
Yeah,
that's all we ask.
He's been dodging our calls.
Very
left
elusive.
and right.
Very elusive. That Mr. Khan. Reynolds.
Mr. uh, so
But Winnie, you also maybe said something that you had a little prediction about Wrecker. Maybe?
Yeah, I don't know if this was just me,
mm,
but throughout episode 3, there is multiple instances where Wrecker is shown having a headache of some sort. And it seems a little ridiculous that he would be going on and on about it, because even though he's generally known to kind of exaggerate or maybe be a little pouty after he gets shot, which is like, come on, you got shot, bro. Just get up. Come on.
he kind of liked it. He was like, "Oh yeah, I remember that."
But I thought it was a little strange that they referenced that like 3 or 4 times throughout the episode. He's clearly like legitimately in pain, and then it doesn't get concluded, so to speak. There's no ending to that little bit. It's just all of a sudden the last time you see him in the episode is when he shows the bedroom to Omega, and when he came on that time, I was like, oh, I think something's about to go down. And then he was just like, he has a bed,
kills
and she
Omega.
was like,
Yeah.
oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, but I think that's something to definitely watch of, because
Oh,
all of them, if
ye-
they show any forms of that, could be interesting.
Yeah, and my conclusion there, which I did not reach because I got distracted by making funny voices. I think there's a potential that his chip, as far as the Order 66 chip, could be activated or in the process of somehow activating. Because I think that sort of symptom wouldn't be unexpected, so to say. You know, his brain is being manipulated, and he's like, stop. And it's not quite working immediately because it wasn't designed for him. But assuming it's still in there, there's a chance that maybe that is going down. I don't know.
Yeah, and we don't know exactly how those chips work yet. So
Yeah.
maybe they have some sort of database where they can be like, oh, let's remotely see what we can do with these chips. And Wrecker, being the least intelligent one, might not catch on to the fact that something weird is going on in that front. So he might be a top prospect because, one, he's strong, he's just very useful in battle, and two, he's possibly most easily manipulated when it comes to that sort of thing.
And mentally.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's what's it called? Definitely interesting, because we know that a lot of the clones just kind of blindly followed Order 66 because like their inhibitor chips were designed that way. But in terms of like the special unit, it looked like they had a lot more freedom and resistance to the Order. Like they weren't as much what's it called? Complying. They were more like Hunter. Clearly they'll have the chips because Crosshairs was being modified, but Hunter was more like, why are we killing Jedi right now? I'm just curious. Like it wasn't, they didn't blindly follow it. So I'm interested to see how, if at all, how their chips differ from the regs.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good question. Also, my apologies, gentlemen. My camera has decided to die. I will have this up in 1 second.
No problem.
Yeah.
But please carry on.
Yeah, so it will definitely be interesting considering all that chip related stuff is still kind of new. So any information on that going forward is going to be very vital to see how they can interact, because like what's to say that in the future, now I know that we have to go through all the Star Wars movies, so this would probably be way further in the future, but could you get the clones back by re-manipulating the chips once the information is found out about the chips? So,
or it's just removing the chips, because if we like look back onto season 7 of Clone Wars, when we saw Ahsoka go through Order 66, Rex at first was like, sorry, bye. And then she like kidnapped him and then like knocked him out and took the chip out of his brain, and he was like, ooh, I'm chilling now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting to see if like this is kind of how they are for the time being, or if like it'll slowly, because the Jedi have become less relevant, how they're just going to be more like, and he's back. Woo!
Hey.
But yeah, so we don't know if the clones are permanently affected by it until they get the chip removed, or if it'll like fade with time. Definitely have
Yeah.
to see where this goes.
Yeah.
It will be an interesting road. It will be an interesting road ahead for this show. I mean, as far as Omega, it definitely seems like they're setting her up to be at least one of the primary objectives of the show, as far as like establish character, grow character, and then potentially use them for spin-off shows, as is the Disney classic. So
I can see it now. Disney Plus, Omega.
It's going to be very interesting. I mean, timeline-wise, Jedi that are active at this point, getting in contact with her, not super likely. I mean, most of them just died. But yet,
99% of them.
Yeah, there is still that chance that somehow, we've already seen Saw Gerrera, and we know that he meets up just a few years down the line with Cal Kestis and has that whole thing. So I don't know. It could go any direction here.
Yeah, definitely. Do we know like what the general objective right now is? The Bad Batch beyond just survive and try to find like a little home? I know Frecker was saying he's trying to turn the ship into a home. I don't know if that's more specifically for Omega or if that was for the group as a whole. But do we know if they're like trying to find somebody, or if they're just trying to like survive? Because right now it seems like they're surviving, but they might have had like a line like, "Oh, we need to go do this."
Yeah, I think they're definitely gonna. Right now, they're focused on survival, but I think going forward, because they are, I think they'll have a period of times where they're like, these guys, although we were never a part of them, they are still who we are, and they're gonna feel a sense of responsibility being the best of them, to maybe help them, try to save as many past good clones that were that are worth saving, to try to help them get out of those situations, as well as helping other innocents along the way. But I think that's going to be their goal. It's still early to tell because they're just in survival mode.
I think it'd be a cool like finale of the show, not to jump all the way to the finale for unproduced seasons we haven't seen yet, but it'd be cool if they were like, as again, like we've said, how they're trying to transition the clones out and they want to get more of like loyalty based soldiers. I think it'd be interesting to be like, see a giant war between like the clones that are like, hey, we're being shoved aside, we're fighting back against a system that used us, versus all these new loyal, what we now refer to as like stormtroopers. So I don't know if that's where the show's going, but I just think that'd be really cool. It'd be like the past versus the future.
Yeah,
that could be really interesting.
And it's always interesting with like a show like this. I just don't know how much in the big scale of Star Wars, how much they can affect. You just don't know how much. Like they are only five guys, burger and fries.
5 guys, yes.
I'm hungry.
Five
guys, Star Wars canon.
Yeah. So I don't know how much they can really change the universe, so they probably don't have to worry about that too much. But it will be interesting to see like what things they can change that are going to have to affect the universe later on for other like stories to come.
Or possibly explain things that really haven't been in the forefront, but it's like, oh, okay, I see where this came from now.
Did they do stuff that we just don't realize it was them that did it? Like, it'll be like interesting to see what they do.
Situation.
Exactly.
Where it's like, okay, this was a very small line in the original movie, but now we have a whole movie that's based off that, which is
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how much they actually change Star Wars as a whole as this show.
Yeah.
Speaking of like the future of Star Wars related to Bad Batch, do we have any characters that we think are going to pop up that are main universe kind of guys? I feel like I got 2.
What are the odds that we have a Vader encounter this season?
That's number 1.
Oh!
I don't know about this season, but like seeing a Vader
They're gonna,
like
yeah.
fresh after he
Dude.
became Vader would be really cool.
That
Maybe
would
he could
be-
work with Crosshair a little bit,
Oh.
hunting down a Jedi or something.
Yeah.
Sorry, Disney, I don't mean to write your stuff for you, but I'm about to do it. I'm gonna start the script right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a Vader would be a little too ambitious for the first season. Do I think he's not gonna come in ever? No. He'll
He's
be
coming.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, he's coming.
Oh Lord, he's
And the
coming.
lightsaber is drawn.
He's too much of a fun character to leave out for the whole time.
And
in a
everyone.
very depressing kind of way.
Yes.
When describe Vader is just walking up being like, "Hey guys, I'm
Everyone's
here
like,
to
"Oh, it's
hunt."
Vader! Vader's here! Yes."
I think a much more likely candidate for the first season would possibly be Rex, since he's already been name dropped,
Definitely.
and we know that he survived Order 66. We know that he's kind of on like a similar path of like, look, where's my place? I was born to fight a war that is now over. What am I supposed to be doing in this world anymore?
Yeah.
Or universe rather. So I feel like he's a likely candidate to pop up. Maybe even Ahsoka a little bit, since I know Disney Star Wars really likes Ahsoka. They like just popping her and stuff. First Mandalorian, our own series. So I feel like she could be a candidate.
Definitely
Could be.
possible. Yeah, she's just gonna have as many appearances and as many shows as possible.
We're
It
getting
basically just becomes an Ahsoka show.
any droids, any R2D2, CP3O.
I mean, R2D2's
be.
got to be in it, right? What has he not been in? Nothing.
Yeah.
R2D2's famous. I mean, you see him
Been
on
in
the red
everything.
carpet all the time. It's crazy he still rolls around. At this point, you would think
At
you know,
this age, yeah, I'm
he's
sure his gears must be rusting.
307.
He looks really
Is
good.
that a specific? Is it, did we
He
do the math?
definitely is not pulling that out of his asshole.
You have to.
Mm.
It's
Just
long,
oils up a little bit. and it's, like, ready
long time ago. You got to do
Yes.
that's too long.
long times
That's
long
One
plus
more than is
time
usually given in that
minus ago.
That's
Too long.
307.
Yes.
Two
exactly.
times long minus a go equals what, 307?
Yeah, that's how it
400?
works.
Okay. All right.
That's how
I'm
it
not.
works.
I'm
This
not
is-
super. I didn't major in
I
Star
didn't
Wars.
make the
math, but
calculation, man. I didn't.
Flash.
I'm just reading this note here.
I'm just reading the Wikipedia here.
Yeah, I think all those characters would be cool if we saw them eventually. I don't think they'll put all of them in.
No.
I think that would be
Although, Mandalorian in the second season just popped off with all the characters that they
Dude.
introduced.
Ugh.
So, I mean, we could possibly see, like, after we get more, like, okay, this is what the Bad Batch is about, then being like, this is how they affect the larger universe as a whole. So,
Yeah.
we'll have to see. Because we've never heard about Bad Batch outside the TV show. So, clearly they didn't do anything super noteworthy in Star Wars.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
it has been sad watching the show, especially after watching Clone Wars, and you just love the clones so much, and now you have to hate the clones. It's
Yeah.
it's really
Unfortunate.
it's such a fast turn of events, Order 66 happening, and now you're
Yeah.
just like, yeah, now these guys are all dicks.
Yeah, it's
But
unfortunate.
they're not. They're good
They
people.
used to all be like the buddies. Each of them had like different tattoos and like different armor paintings.
Yeah.
Now they're all just white.
A moment
Everything's
of
just
silence for the fallen clones. Everyone not watching, drop a F in the chat.
F in the chat. Fallen Clones.
Fallen clones.
Fallen Clones, the Fallen Order sequel.
Rip.
Huh?
Yeah,
I
it
can see
will. It will take some getting used to seeing all those. As a kid, I was always confused why I've seen clones or the people in white, as I used to call them. Why they're on both teams? I was like, they need to pick a side. 'Cause I grew up watching the new and the old ones, and I was just always confused. I was like, what? We can't think of any new villains? Or like, what's
you
up
pick
with
the
this?
winning side. the
I
winning
was so
side.
confused growing up because I never put two and two together like a dummy. But it makes
Like
a
the
lot more
timing.
sense nowadays.
Maybe you're
Now
just more intelligent now. It's hard to say.
I have gotten smarter.
It either could become more apparent or you got smarter. And
No, I didn't get any smarter.
yeah, okay. So I was gonna say I think it's the former of the
I think
two.
they rewrote the show to be more clear. That was what
Yes.
happened.
They were like,
probably.
Jared, we feel is having a hard time understanding
We need
everything. so-
Jared cut.
George
Just
Lucas is
every
like, who-
clone
who the
has
hell
an
is
arrow
Jared?
pointing. It's like good guy, and then when Order 66 happens, it's like good now bad, and then in all the other
Jared's
ones it's
like,
just bad.
Oh,
I thought they
get
just
it
needed a
now.
convenient way to knock out 3 soldiers and then put on their costumes so they could walk anywhere at any moment.
You must have been especially confused in Force Awakens with Finn's character or Poe rather. Just like
It only
Too
brought
much.
more confusion. It was like I had a flashback of all my confusion, and then I was like, "Wait, what's going on? Wait, oh my gosh, oh, I don't know what's going on." Yes.
Something that I don't know that's what's going on is Hunter, clearly Rambo inspired. He has like, I don't know if it's a face tattoo or if it's face paint.
It's got to be.
If
a
it's
base
face
tattoo.
paint, he's pretty avid on putting it on.
he has been in the
Every morning
subreddits.
he's like, guys, I gotta do my half skull. Give me a second.
yeah,
I don't think they ever shower. I think every time they go into that room, they're like, "This place stinks. We get used to it." It's because none of them shower because they've got these face paints and they don't want to wipe
Yeah.
them off. You know,
Maybe-
they're just gonna get stinky for the next battle.
Get stinky. Who's ready to get stinky?
get stinky, stay stinky. It's the Bad Batch coming to you every
It's the-
Friday
it's
on
the Bad
Disney
Batch
Plus.
mod.
I think they should bring on the Brady Bunch to battle the Bad Batch just to see the clash of.
Crossover.
Yeah, I think
Bad
that's
crossover
Brady's
episode.
versus the bad.
bad
I mean-
Brady's.
That would be perfect because I mean Brady Bunch.
that would
Their
be perfect.
their episodes are coming out every week. You know, new episodes of the Brady Bunch as well. It's a
Yeah.
very
Mm.
active and modern show,
Yes.
and it also takes
Clearly.
place in the Star Wars universe. So I don't know why they wouldn't.
all those things.
Yeah.
all
But
those
we know
things.
we know the Brady Bunch is just really far in the future,
Sure,
and because Star Wars is a long time ago,
Right.
too long. So that's 370 years.
exactly.
So the Brady Bunch, maybe they could do. I'm not super up to date with the Brady Bunch lore, but there might have been an episode where they time traveled.
Yeah,
and I just think it'd be really interesting if we could see them maybe use a time travel machine.
I was
go
in
back
an
in time.
episode of Doctor Who.
yeah.
They
It
were
was
in an episode of Doctor Who.
it was
Okay.
really confusing. You learned that Brady was actually one of the former doctors, and the bunch were all Skrull. It was
They're
all
all
Skrull, but it was
Yeah.
in Star Wars. But it was never referenced.
It's like
It was
a
just.
huge puzzle piece that they've just left out.
It was very weird, strange.
Plot hole, maybe.
And
Maybe
Mr.
just something
Brady
future people
is
work on.
actually Yoda's dad. So
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
God,
I think
these are
they.
a whole lot of references.
I do think a crossover, Jared. I think you're on the money. We'll see that coming
I
soon.
think-
It's pretty
I think so.
likely.
I think so.
Season 1 finale.
Oh my
Bad
God.
Batch versus the Brady Bunch.
Just
And
changing-
which family is Crosshair going to finally join? The Brady's or the Clone Force 99? It's hard.
Tough.
It's in the air. It's a toss up.
I feel like I could see
Flip a
Omega
coin.
going over to Brady Bunch. I'm just saying.
I think she could actually fit.
Yeah.
I feel like if one person would fit it, it'd be her or maybe Wrecker.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Both valid. Everyone
So-
listening, you may have noticed we've run out of content.
I have no idea what you're talking about. This is clearly all scripted.
Say what? I have like 3 hours of notes down right in front of me. Not 5 sentences of notes.
I think I got 6 bullet points. I mean, 600 bullet points. So we did possibly discuss filling up the remaining time with something that Star Wars themed. What are each kind of Star Wars element that kind of either got us into Star Wars or like made us really like Star Wars? I'm not sure if we have different ones. We haven't really talked about it at all, so we could just kind of go off the cuff with this sort of thing. If we want to, maybe somebody just throw out what their favorite Star Wars thing has been over the years, or has they've
You ready?
reminisced
You
upon
ready
the
for
most.
this? This is me.
I'm ready for
You ready?
Jarod because he's the least Star Wars guy.
So, growing up, I had for the first 3 years of watching Star Wars, I had only ever seen one scene of Star Wars because my brothers would just get the VCR and they would just rewind it to a certain bit and then they'd put it in and they'd hit play. And so I saw Darth Maul kill Qui-Gon probably 700 times before I actually saw the whole movie.
Tragic. That's
Well,
awful.
I would,
Let
if
me
anything,
say-
I would say be like, wow, this movie seems really good. I love this one scene, and then you watch the rest of the movie, and you're like, can we just watch this one scene again?
I think that's why, because my brothers they didn't really care for the rest of the movie.
Didn't care about me.
No pod racing. none of
Jar
that.
Jar.
So we just loved that part, and I grew to love that singular part. But it is still one of the best movies because of that part. I can just all the and then the meditating
the
and
goosh and the
dude,
and
it
the-
was phenomenal. And then I remember doing a bunch of research on would that actually be a good weapon? I feel like a two-sided lightsaber would cause a lot of self-harm.
But maybe Darth Maul's into that kind of thing, into BDSM. We don't know. He's
I
got
just-
black tattoos.
Could be a
He definitely
highly
doesn't scream
depressed
the most.
individual.
Yeah, could be. Like some
So
torture.
Long
yeah,
hours.
maybe not my favorite movie, but best scene in all of Star Wars
That
is
got
the
you really into it.
Qui-Gon versus Maul scene.
Man, best scene of all Star Wars.
That's a toughie.
I mean, I think I
That's
gotta
opinion
go.
based.
I gotta go with the fight on Mustafar. I mean, you can't pick anything else, or you're a dummy. That's the fact of it, I guess.
That's fact. That's not opinion based.
That scene is unreal.
Coming at me already.
I will never forget. So as a
Jared,
kid,
you're wrong.
it was like, well, there's nothing to do today. It's Tuesday. I guess I'll watch Star Wars. And that was my childhood for the longest time. And then Star Wars Episode 3 came out. But you see, that was rated PG-13. And so I did not get exclusive access for the longest time. But
You didn't get
I got
early
it.
access.
I got it. When I did get it, it changed everything. Because, episodes 1 and 2, despite me enjoying them, my parents, it was always like, this movie is garbage. Don't watch this. My brothers were like, this movie sucks. Don't watch this movie. And I was like, I don't know. I like the Geonosians with the guns. But then episode 3 dropped, and it was like, this is real. They did it. And then that fight came within that episode. The music, the force,
The cinematography, the acting.
the laser swords,
The
lava.
only thing
So many
that was
layers.
a little lacking, I feel, in that scene, because I really loved the music, the sets, and the actual choreography with the fighting itself. The only thing that kind of takes me out of it, luckily it doesn't happen that often, is some of the lines that they give during that.
Liar!
It's like, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Well, then you are lost.
It's like, you underestimate my power. It's like,
Don't
yeah.
do this,
Stop
Anakin.
talking, more fighting.
Dude, I
Obviously,
thought
we get the
that
best line of all
it
of
makes
Star
it
Wars,
so
though.
intense, though. And you
Over
know,
Anakin, I have the high ground. That's the
line.
best line of Star Wars. So the contrast is really big.
don't make me kill you.
Yeah. When they're
You
not
are my
talking,
brother,
it's not
Anakin.
okay.
Dude, it's just I don't know. The lines in it may be corny, but as a whole, how can you not love that scene and that
Oh,
moment? It's done perfectly. And then you have Vader breaking out, no, that shit. It's perfect. It's perfect. There's nothing
did
more to
like
ask
a-
for from it.
It was
I
great.
did like in the ending of Revenge of the Sith, how Leia and Luke being born was like contrasted with cutting the scenes of Vader being born. Thought that was like really symbolic. Never mind. Sorry, that's the best part of the movie.
For those of you who don't know, there is a robot that helps Padme out, and the exact sound that it makes, and this is, I'm not making this sound, this is a WAV file I'm playing.
Whether that's to comfort Padme to death, or whether that's to comfort the babies being born into the world, whether that's just the noise it makes, kind of how the
Padme actually didn't make it through because of the Uba.
It was a death chant.
It was
And I have just cursed everyone watching this video. Ooba! Ooba!
Ooba!
So Cole.
It's, these are questions, and there's answers, they're spurring around up in my noggin.
Watch him just really struggle to actually think of an answer because he hasn't given the time to think about it.
Part of Star Wars.
Look at him just stalling. Just
stars. Is when Khan goes on a raft and they're in the stars.
That's Battlestar Galactica.
Struggling.
This will sound very, very much like cliche for Star Wars, but I think I always really liked the prequels growing up, obviously, because they were coming out as I was growing up. But for me, you can't beat the original trilogy, and especially the moment as I got older, when Luke and Vader finally confront each other, and you find out that Vader is his dad. Because I had seen that before, like the prequels were like fully out. And what's it called? I'm thinking back to reminiscing to like what 4-year-old Cole, 5-year-old Cole. I just remember when I found out that I was like slightly shorter back then.
I'm Cole. I like Star Wars.
Way back in the day, when I found that out, I was just mind blowing, and I would think about my own dad. I'm like, is he evil and I don't know about it? Like, it was just really.
Is he a part of the Star Wars?
For me, as a personal thing, and I also think that's, in hindsight, that's one of the greatest like cinematic twists of all time. To be like, holy shit, whether that was pre-planned or not, I think that has to be my favorite Star Wars moment that really solidified in my love for the saga.
I feel like
how's that for spitballing, huh? Never thinking about it.
I feel like they really ruined that whole twist for the Germans, though.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Well,
if you don't get what I'm saying.
Oh, right. No, you're right.
Vader
Yeah. Well, I mean, you wouldn't have thought of it instantaneously.
The way it's said. Like,
yeah.
Vater is how you say it in German versus Vader. So I wonder if some guy, like, when the first movie came out, like, Vader, that sounds like father. And then in the next movie, he's like, I called it. I called it. Yeah.
Come on.
Or if George Lucas was actually thinking about that, because I mean, there's a lot of German influence in Star Wars, with like the whole stormtroopers literally being a thing that was the Nazis were sometimes referred to as. So it's tough to say.
The use of the Glockenspiel.
I don't. How many? And I don't think they use any Glocks in Star Wars.
Every track.
Every
film there's a Glock. Right. During the prequels, the Glock was located directly behind George Lucas's head.
Oh, that's funny because I don't think he was in the movie at all. Here's your joke. It's like a big balloon and deflated that shit.
Get out of here, man.
I hate your jokes.
Stop.
My death chant. So yeah, overall Star Wars is a thing. Really interested to see where Star Wars goes and where it ends, if it ever ends.
It will.
Overall,
strong for 40 years.
In all my years, I'm waiting for Star Wars to come back, and animated Star Wars makes me happier than live action Star Wars. So
except for Mandalorian, because
except for Mandalorian, Mandalorian was good. Mandalorian was quite enjoyable.
It was excellent.
We just need the Skywalkers to take a rest for a little bit. We've seen too many.
Yes.
Both
Very
Luke,
much so.
Anakin, and Rey Skywalker.
Yeah, I was about to say you gotta put Rey in there. You gotta put Rey in there because she is
Rey
Skywalker.
Skywalker.
She...
Right.
Yeah, I'll be a
lame-
Skywalker.
I'm gonna throw away my
Never.
lightsabers. I don't need that. I don't need
I'll
those.
bury them in sand. I don't need this
The
shit.
sand creatures need this. Those are actually the story of Dune picks up right there.
Just see some like space worm and just finds a lightsaber. It's like, okay. Shit, now we got a sandworm with a lightsaber. But yeah, Bad Batch episodes 1 through 3 finished. Episode 4 coming out Friday or Friday at 3 a.m. Obviously, we're going to stay up and do a live stream of it. This is something I'm now spurting out that now they are electronically committed to.
Oh gosh.
And you
So
can
I hope
find
you're
that
ready for that.
stream at www.com.
Onlyfans.com.
www.com/help me contact Mr. Raycon. That is the
Yeah.
whole. That's the whole
Really,
link.
just any sponsor. You
Just
know,
con.
Raid Shadow Legends, Audible. We'll take any of it. Disney,
Oh.
if you'd like to sponsor us for talking and promoting your content, we'll take it.
I don't know if they've ever done that ever. In a
It's
million
too
years.
scary. They can't trust anyone.
We'll
like,
we'll be
"Cool."
the first. We're groundbreaking.
We are.
Yeah.
We march into the 21st century.
Here's the ground. We're breaking it. Does it get more intense if I
We're
get
breaking
closer?
through the ground. We're breaking
Here's
through.
the ground. Here's
No,
the, here's the,
I'm just
We're breaking
seeing
it.
way
We're
too
breaking it.
much of your face, honestly.
Well, everybody, this is the end. Come on.
This is the end.
This is the end.
Wait, stop. We didn't do a rating system for Bad Batch.
Oh, Bad
What do
Batch
we think
rating.
the episode-
Oh shoot! Here we go. This is
I'm sorry.
Bad Batch rating. So we'll rate 1 through 3 in a summary rating. So just
Yes.
one
Yeah.
rating.
Yeah.
Now, I believe I gave my last rating 4 out of 4 flip-flops, which is valid. And
That's a
frankly,
good
I'm
rating.
I'm not even sure that is what I said. It may have been.
I don't think that's what you said.
It's canon.
It's
that's
possible.
what he
Yeah,
said. If
now
that's not what he
anything,
said,
it's
that's what he
retconned.
said.
I've retconned my words.
In our
And-
second review.
But for Bad Batch episodes 1 through 3, I would
You
if
rated it
if
a
they were well, no, that's for the hype. That's for
No,
the hype.
he rated
I'll
he
do
rated
that
it
for
the
episode 4.
flip-flop.
If I would say if Bad Batch episodes 1 through 3 was like a person on the street, I would smile at them and be like, "Hi." And that's how I
Okay.
would rate
Okay.
those. Yeah.
Okay,
fair.
I think that's pretty
fair.
fair because like you don't give a lot. You give them the smile, but you don't really give them the hi too much.
Hi.
Winnie would
Just
say
like that.
hi. That's
Winnie
the
would
kind
say
of guy
hi,
He would say
that's-
hi. That's how he feels
Hello.
about the show.
That's high praise. That's high
And
praise.
Very
But
high.
episode 4, well, I mean, you guys rate it here, please. I don't want to speak on behalf of you.
Jared, I don't. If
uh,
you'd like to.
You know,
Go
on
next.
the fly here, as I think about my rating, I think that I would rate it. See this pug right here? He would rate it
Good dog.
like one of those cookies. I
At
would
least
rate
one of them.
it like maybe like half of the, a little bit more than half cookies. So like
Wow,
that-
that's the worst rating Jared has given on the show so far.
that
That
much
is
of a
true.
cookie.
Jared clearly hates
Now
Bad
that's a
Batch.
massive cookie in context. That's like I have to grab that whole thing.
That's 3 snickerdoodles.
I would name we'll do it on snickerdoodle basis. I'll do if I have a bag of 10 snickerdoodles, I'd eat six snickerdoodles.
6 snickerdoodles for Bad Batch.
Must have been some pretty
Okay.
good snickerdoodles. Just saying.
That's good.
I'm
That's
hungry.
good.
I have a sugar tooth.
I have a sugar fetish. My rating for Bad Batch. For looking at types of clouds, I might say Bad Batch is a cirrostratus. You know, so like you got lots of different types of clouds.
A little
But-
ominous.
Yeah, you know,
They
who
swirl.
knows what it's bringing? They're kind of filled with water vapor, much like the show Bad Batch. And they could inspire good things. They can inspire bad things. So that's as definitive as I can make it.
Interesting.
All right.
And as
Yeah.
far as episode 4 goes,
The hype
I
level.
mean, I'm liking the show so far. I'm not refreshing Disney at 2:59 a.m. So I'd give it like a meh.
I like that. I'm gonna say that as the episodes go on, I get more excited about them. Because I think the show has been on an upward trend in my eyes. So I'm going
Okay.
to give it like a party like emoji type of deal.
Party.
That's yeah, but you never know if you're gonna be like, is it gonna be a good party or a bad party? You're not quite sure.
Yeah.
But
Feel
you
like there's a
go
party
anyway.
happening.
But you go anyway to see what happens. You know,
Yeah.
you don't know anybody there, but you're going because you think it's gonna be fun.
Sticking with Winnie's rating system, I'm gonna steal that wherever you are on the screen. I'm stealing it.
I'm below you. Oh wait, no, I'm not. No, I'm to your.
Where am I going with my hands when you
Go
guide me?
to your right.
This way?
Yes.
This way?
Now we're holding hands.
All right. I'm stealing your scream, and I will probably give it on a scale from a to a wow. I'd probably give
It's
it
intense.
hey.
Hey.
Would you say hello there? Is
No.
close? Oh,
No, that's top tier.
Oh,
I
Hello
don't know
there.
how I feel about the show. Don't put words in my mouth.
Hello
Okay?
there.
Stop it.
oh.
I said what I'd give it, and that's what I gave it. Well, hey.
I just want to hear Winnie speak really.
Hello there.
Oh,
You
gosh. Thank
guys
you.
just scream. I a little bit.
Well, everybody,
So beautiful.
if you'd believe it, it has been the second. It has been the second podcast. We did it again.
Holy
And
crap,
this-
man, we're
the-
only getting worse.
We are. Every episode will get just a hair worse to the point where you'll eventually look at our podcast and wonder, where did we fall off? And the answer is
Where
we were
did the
never
money
on.
go?
The
were
hill
never on,
was
and we
down.
never got better.
But to everyone not watching and to the one person who is, may your day be filled with many blessings. And also, I love that you guys just were so ready to that. That was awesome. We have a new outro song, so we're about to roll it. We're
Roll
about
it.
to roll it, and we will
Roll
see you
it.
guys next week, covering some new stuff. Bad Batch, episode 4, and anything else that happens.
Peace out. Oh my God. Cheers.
Ah!